In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we find an invitation to deep reflection and inner transformation. Stoic wisdom, rooted in centuries of philosophical thought, reveals a path of discernment and liberation, the silent elimination of things that obscure our view of true happiness and fulfillment. Imagine a house that accumulates clutter over the years, suffocating its spaces and making free movement difficult. Similarly, our minds and hearts are often occupied by unnecessary attachments, trivial worries and toxic emotions that hinder our inner peace. The Stoic proposal is not just to simplify, but to purify, to remove not only physical excess, but more importantly, the emotional and mental burdens that hold us back. In this journey through Stoic philosophy, we are guided by masters such as Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and other sages who, despite being distant in time, offer timeless advice. The art of silent elimination is more than an exercise in detachment. It is a path of self-discovery and inner growth. Do you want to embark on this new journey? Then comment and declare the secret phrase, "Today, I eliminate what does not do me good." I also invite you to leave a warm like on this video, so more people can benefit from this wisdom. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, join this community. Throughout this video, we will explore 12 essential areas that Stoic philosophy suggests we silently eliminate from our lives. Let's get started. 1. Resentment. Resentment is like a dark shadow that hovers over our lives, obscuring our vision and stealing our inner peace. When we nurture resentment in our hearts, we are allowing the past to have excessive power over our present. As Seneca said, anger is often more harmful to us than the object of it. Resentment consumes us from within, undermining our happiness and damaging our relationships. It is important to understand that resentment does not only harm others, but primarily ourselves. Imagine carrying a heavy burden through the streets of life. Each step becomes more painful, and the emotional weight prevents us from moving forward with lightness and serenity. The key to releasing resentment lies in the practice of forgiveness and compassion, both for others and for ourselves. Epictetus reminds us that it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. By changing our perspective and choosing forgiveness over bitterness, we find a new sense of freedom and inner peace. Forgiveness does not mean justifying harmful actions or forgetting the past, but rather choosing not to allow these negative experiences to continue to control us. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." The true power lies in releasing resentment and moving forward with compassion and integrity. The practice of forgiveness is not easy, but it is liberating. It begins by recognizing and validating your emotions without denying the pain that may have been caused. Next, it is necessary to cultivate the understanding that we are all human, subject to mistakes and imperfections. By releasing resentment, we make room for healthier and more meaningful relationships, and we find an inner peace that is truly transformative. Remember that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, allowing you to live with more lightness, joy, and compassion. 2. Constant comparison. The trap of constant comparison is one of the most subtle and destructive challenges we can face in our lives. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we place ourselves in a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. As Epictetus said, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. This wisdom reminds us of the importance of looking at our own growth and evolution instead of measuring ourselves by external standards. Let me tell you a brief story about the fable of the hare and the tortoise. The hare, quick and agile, always boasted of his speed and skill. One day, he challenged the tortoise to a race, thinking it would be an easy victory. However, while the hare was distracted by his superiority, the tortoise continued to move forward slowly, undeterred by comparison. In the end, the tortoise's persistence and steadiness led her to victory, while the hare, arrogant and distracted, lost the race. This story reminds us that each of us has our own pace and journey in life. Constantly comparing ourselves to others prevents us from recognizing our own achievements and unique value. As Seneca said, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. By adopting this mindset of personal growth, we cultivate gratitude and acceptance of who we are and our individual progress. Constant comparison also distances us from true connection with others. When we focus too much on competing and surpassing others, we lose the opportunity to collaborate, learn, and grow together. As Marcus Aurelius said, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. By shifting our mindset from competition to cooperation, we create a more positive and enriching environment around us. Free yourself from the trap of constant comparison. Recognize and celebrate your own achievements, learn from others without comparing, and cultivate relationships based on collaboration and mutual support. By doing so, you will find a deeper sense of authenticity, peace, and contentment in your life. 3. Unrealistic expectations. Our expectations. They can be our greatest allies or our worst enemies. When we talk about unrealistic expectations, we're dealing with a topic that can profoundly shape our life experience and emotional well-being. When we face a new challenge or project, we have a clear vision of what we want to achieve and the goals we intend to reach. However, along the way, things don't go exactly as planned. We can become frustrated, disappointed, and start to doubt ourselves. This story is familiar to many of us. Unrealistic expectations are like illusions we create in our minds, based on perfectionist ideals or unattainable external standards. It's like expecting a flower to bloom instantly without giving it the necessary time to grow and develop. The Stoics invite us to look at expectations in a more realistic and balanced way. Epictetus reminds us that it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. This means that when we are stuck with rigid and inflexible expectations, we miss the opportunity to learn from experiences and adapt to the changes life presents to us. There is a story about a Zen master that teaches about expectations. A disciple comes to the master with great expectations about what he will learn. However, the master pours tea into his cup until it overflows, spilling tea everywhere. The surprised and frustrated disciple asks why the master is wasting tea. The master replies, "Just as your cup is full of expectations, your mind is full of preconceived concepts. If you don't empty your cup first, how can I teach you anything new?" This story reminds us of the importance of letting go of rigid expectations and being open to the flow of life. This doesn't mean giving up on our goals and dreams, but being flexible and adaptable to the circumstances that arise. In dealing with unrealistic expectations, it is essential to cultivate acceptance and gratitude for what is, rather than clinging to what could have been. Recognize that things don't always go as planned, and that's okay. True wisdom lies in learning from each experience, growing with each challenge, and finding beauty in the unexpected. Free yourself from the chains of unrealistic expectations. Stay open to the flow of life, be kind to yourself, and learn to appreciate each moment regardless of how things unfold. 4. Negativity. When we encounter negativity, it's as if a dark cloud hovers over our thoughts and emotions, obscuring our vision and sapping our vital energy. However, Stoic teachings invite us to face negativity in a more conscious and constructive way, transforming it into an opportunity for growth and learning. I imagine you've experienced moments when negativity seems to dominate your mind. It could be through self-critical thoughts, incessant worries, or an excessive focus on the negative aspects of life. It's as if an inner negative voice tries to undermine your confidence and inner peace. The Stoics teach us the importance of cultivating a mindset of resilience and realistic optimism in the face of negativity. Seneca reminds us that happiness is learning to accept what you cannot change. This means recognizing that we can't always control external circumstances, but we can choose how we respond to them. An effective strategy for dealing with negativity is the practice of gratitude and mindfulness. When we focus on the good in our lives, even amidst challenges, we cultivate a more positive and resilient perspective. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without identifying with them, allowing us to respond more consciously and balanced. There is a bird that, when facing a storm, while other birds hide and cower before the tempest, sings joyfully, facing the wind and rain with courage and determination. At the end of the storm, the bird emerges stronger and more resilient, while the others remain dejected and fearful. This strengthens us to face negativity with courage and optimism, rather than letting it consume us. By adopting a mindset of growth and learning, we transform negativity into an opportunity for inner strengthening. So when confronted with negativity, remember that you have the power to choose how to respond to it. Cultivate gratitude, practice mindfulness, and stay steadfast in your resilience and realistic optimism. 5. Self-care. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often forget to take care of the most important person, ourselves. Lack of self-care, like a silent shadow, can affect our physical, mental, and emotional health. The Stoics, philosophers of ancient Greece, saw self-care as essential for happiness. For them, true joy comes from living in harmony with the external and internal world. But how can I take care of my body? Eat well, exercise, and get enough sleep to have energy and vitality. What you eat is the fuel for your body. Choose fresh and nutritious foods. Get moving. Find physical activities that you enjoy and make them a habit. Sleep is essential for the recovery of the body and mind. Create a regular sleep routine and an environment conducive to quality sleep. Remember to take care of your mind as well. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Practice relaxation techniques like meditation or yoga to calm the mind. Seek professional help if you are facing emotional difficulties. Cultivate positive thoughts and gratitude. Focus on the good things in your life and be thankful for them. Self-care is not selfishness, but an investment in your own well-being. By taking care of yourself, you will have more energy, vitality, and resilience to face life's challenges. You can start today. Make small changes to your habits to cultivate self-care in your life. Start with something simple, like eating a fruit a day or taking a 30-minute walk. Over time, you can incorporate other practices that make you feel good. Remember, you are responsible for your happiness and well-being. Prioritize self-care and enjoy a fuller, more virtuous and resilient life, inspired by Stoic teachings. 6. Thoughts of revenge. Thoughts of revenge are like burning embers that scorch our inner peace and distance us from true harmony and balance. When confronting this powerful emotion, Stoic teachings invite us to transcend the need for revenge and to cultivate a mindset of compassion and forgiveness. It is natural to feel anger and desire justice when we are hurt or wronged. However, the Stoics remind us that revenge does not bring true peace or inner healing. As Seneca said, anger often harms itself. It leaves scars on the soul. This recognition invites us to seek more constructive ways to deal with our emotions. When dealing with thoughts of revenge, it is essential to practice empathy and forgiveness. This does not mean accepting or justifying harmful actions, but rather choosing not to let these negative events control our emotions and actions. Cultivate compassion and understanding, knowing that every human being carries their own struggles and challenges. And when faced with thoughts of revenge, recall Stoic wisdom. Choose the path of compassion, forgiveness, and self-love. By letting go of the need for revenge, you find true inner freedom and make space for healthier and more meaningful relationships in your life. 7. Unnecessary attachments. When we look at our lives, it is common to find a web of attachments that bind us, often without our awareness. The Stoics remind us of the importance of letting go of these unnecessary attachments to achieve true inner freedom. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic masters, invites us to reflect on the transient nature of things and how we cling to them. He teaches us that when we hold on to something too tightly, we become slaves to it. Have you ever thought about holding a heavy stone for a long time? Eventually, it will become an unbearable burden. Similarly, our attachments can become weights that prevent us from moving freely in life. Detachment does not mean devaluing what is important to us. On the contrary, it is recognizing that the true essence of happiness is not in material possession, but in the inner freedom that comes from acceptance and gratitude for what we have in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." By letting go of the need to control and possess, we create space to cultivate calmer and more positive thoughts. Eliminating unnecessary attachments is a gradual and profound process. It starts with recognizing what these attachments are in our lives. It can be attachment to people, ideas, status, material objects, or even emotions like anger and resentment. The key is to question, does this really bring me lasting happiness, or is it just a burden I carry out of habit or social pressure? When I decide to let go of these attachments, I experience a sense of lightness and freedom that allows me to flow more naturally with the changes in life. Just as leaves fall from trees in autumn, Letting go of what is no longer necessary prepares us to receive new cycles and opportunities. Remember, detachment is not an act of total renunciation but of discernment. It is choosing what truly matters and setting aside what hinders our growth and evolution. This is finding true inner wealth and the serenity that comes from accepting the constant flow of life. 8. Concern with others' opinions. One of the most common traps we encounter in our lives is the excessive worry about what others think of us. The Stoics, with their emphasis on authenticity and virtue, remind us of the importance of cultivating a mind free from the chains of external approval. Marcus Aurelius invites us to reflect on the transience of others' opinions. How long will you continue to allow your happiness to be conditioned by the opinion of others? This question leads us to a crucial point. True happiness cannot depend on the volatility of external opinions. Concern for others' opinions often leads us to live according to what others expect of us, instead of following our own inner voice. Epictetus reminds us that we cannot control others' opinions, only our reactions to them. This means that instead of worrying about what others think, we should focus on how we respond to those opinions. A mind free from concern for external opinions is a clearer and calmer mind. This does not mean completely ignoring constructive feedback, but rather discerning between what is useful for our personal growth and what is just external noise. Have you ever seen a ship sailing in turbulent waters? If you worry too much about the waves and winds around you, you will lose direction. But if you keep your focus on the helm and the course you want to follow, you can navigate with firmness even amidst adversities. The path to releasing concern for others' opinions begins with self-knowledge and self-trust. Knowing your values, your goals, and your virtues is the foundation for building a life that is authentic and aligned with your inner truth. Practice the art of listening to your own voice and trust your choices. Remember the words of Seneca, "It is part of the cure not to wish to be cured too quickly." Allow yourself the time needed to cultivate this mindset of emotional independence and authenticity. By eliminating concern for others' opinions, we find an inner freedom that allows us to live with more authenticity, courage, and peace of mind. The journey is challenging, but the fruits of this transformation are invaluable. 9. Destructive habits. Habits profoundly shape our lives. The Stoics remind us of the importance of eliminating destructive habits that undermine our physical, mental, and emotional health, and challenge us to cultivate habits that lead to personal flourishing. One of the fundamental principles of Stoic philosophy is self-mastery. Epictetus teaches us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to what happens that matters. This directly applies to our habits. It's not just about the actions themselves, but about our ability to consciously choose what is best for ourselves. Imagine a neglected garden where weeds grow uncontrollably, suffocating healthy plants. Similarly, destructive habits can suffocate our health, happiness, and success. This might include excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, procrastination, among other harmful behaviors. A story that illustrates this lesson is the fable of the lumberjack and the dull axe. A lumberjack was cutting trees with a dull axe, making enormous efforts to bring down each tree. An observer asked why he didn't sharpen the axe, and the lumberjack replied that he was too busy cutting trees. This fable reminds us of the importance of stopping and reflecting on our habits, identifying those that are preventing us from achieving our goals. Changing destructive habits to constructive ones requires self-knowledge, discipline, and persistence. It starts by identifying which habits are harming your life and health. Then it's necessary to devise a realistic and progressive action plan to replace them with healthier and more positive habits. For example, if the habit of procrastination is harming your productivity, you can start by implementing small changes, such as setting daily goals and using time management techniques. If the habit of excessive consumption of unhealthy foods is affecting your health, you can seek nutritional guidance and adopt a balanced diet. By eliminating destructive habits and cultivating constructive ones, you are investing in your well-being and personal growth. As Seneca said, it is not that life is short, but that we make it so. By consciously choosing habits that promote your health, happiness, and success, you are expanding the possibilities of a full and meaningful life. 10. Fear of failure. The fear of failure is a shadow that hangs over many of us, preventing us from taking risks, growing, and reaching our true potential. At this moment, I would like to share a personal reflection on this theme in a more intimate and profound way. Imagine yourself facing a great challenge, something you have wanted to achieve for a long time. It could be a career change, a creative project, a significant relationship, or any other important goal for you. However, when faced with this opportunity, the fear of failure begins to arise, whispering doubts and uncertainties in your mind. I have been in this position many times, and perhaps you have experienced this feeling as well. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking the first step towards our dreams. However, Stoic teachings invite us to look at fear differently. Epictetus reminds us that it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult. This simple phrase contains profound wisdom. Often the fear of failure is more related to our perception than to the reality of the challenges we face. Think of the great leaders, inventors, artists, and visionaries we admire. They also faced the fear of failure in their journeys. However, what differentiates them is not the absence of this fear, but the courage to face it and move forward despite it. A story that always inspired me is that of inventor Thomas Edison. He made thousands of attempts to invent the electric light bulb, and many considered his attempts as failures. However, Edison saw these attempts as learning experiences and persisted until he achieved success. His famous quote, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work," reflects a mindset of resilience and perseverance in the face of the fear of failure. When dealing with the fear of failure, it is important to remember that true failure is not in trying and not achieving the desired result, but in not trying for fear of failing. Allow yourself the time necessary to face your fears, learn from your experiences, and grow through the challenges you face. Do not let the fear of failure stop you from pursuing your dreams and goals. Recognize it as a natural emotion, but do not let it dominate your actions and decisions. Cultivate the courage to dare, to learn from each attempt, and to move forward with determination and confidence in yourself. 11. Excessive judgment. Excessive judgment is a common trap that can lead us away from the path of serenity and inner peace. When we indulge in the habit of judging ourselves and others harshly, we create an atmosphere of tension and discomfort around us. Stoic philosophy offers valuable advice on how to deal with this harmful tendency, promoting a more compassionate and empathetic approach in our daily interactions. Firstly, it is essential to recognize that we are all constantly evolving and learning. No one is perfect, and it is natural to make mistakes along the way. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of accepting our imperfections with humility and kindness, instead of punishing ourselves with relentless self-criticism. Rather than fixating on the negative aspects, we should focus on learning from our experiences and continually seeking personal improvement. Similarly, it is crucial to extend this same compassion to others. Often we are quick to judge and criticize others without fully understanding their circumstances or motivations. Stoic practice encourages us to adopt a more empathetic approach, putting ourselves in others' shoes and trying to understand their perspectives. This not only strengthens our interpersonal relationships, but also helps us cultivate a deeper sense of connection and mutual understanding. By eliminating excessive judgment from our lives, we create space for compassion to flourish. Understanding that we all face challenges and internal struggles makes us more tolerant and receptive to others' difficulties. Instead of building barriers with rigid judgments, we can build bridges of understanding and mutual support. Furthermore, the practice of empathy not only benefits our external relationships, but also significantly contributes to our own inner peace. When we free ourselves from the burden of relentless judgment, we experience a renewed sense of lightness and tranquility. Empathy connects us with our shared humanity, reminding us that we are all on this life journey together, with our individual triumphs and challenges. By silently eliminating excessive judgment from our lives and embracing compassion and empathy, we create an environment of harmony and personal growth. Cultivating a Stoic mindset empowers us to live according to our highest values, nurturing meaningful relationships and finding inner peace even amidst life's adversities. 12. Escape from reality. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we often find ourselves seeking refuge in distractions such as browsing social media, binge-watching series, or getting lost in games. This escape from reality may seem like a momentary relief, but in the long run, it keeps us from addressing the challenges and problems that truly matter. The Stoics, philosophers from ancient Greece and Rome, propose a different approach, facing challenges head-on with serenity and wisdom. They believe that true happiness does not lie in escaping reality but in the ability to accept it as it is, with all its difficulties and imperfections. The first step to overcoming the escape from reality is to recognize its signs. Do you find yourself procrastinating on important tasks for hours on end, endlessly scrolling through your phone, or seeking refuge in activities that pull you away from real life? Recognizing these patterns is crucial for initiating change. Instead of trying to deny or escape problems, the Stoics teach us to accept them as part of life. This does not mean resignation, but rather recognizing that not everything is under our control, and that the key to happiness is dealing with situations in the best possible way. Facing challenges head-on requires resilience, the ability to adapt and recover in the face of adversity. The Stoics practiced mental exercises to strengthen their resilience, such as visualizing difficult situations and preparing how to respond to them. Changing ingrained behaviors takes time and patience. Do not be discouraged if results do not appear overnight. Continue practicing self-awareness, acceptance, and resilience, and gradually you will see progress. Having a purpose in life can be a great motivator to overcome the escape from reality. When you have something that inspires and motivates you to move forward, it becomes easier to face challenges and find meaning in your actions. Know that you are not alone. Everyone struggles with escaping reality at some point. Change is possible, and with dedication and practice, you can develop the inner strength to face challenges. By accepting reality as it is, you create space for serenity and true happiness. You can start the necessary changes today. Write down your thoughts and feelings about escaping reality. Reflect, what drives you to seek distractions? Set limits. Define specific times to use your phone or browse the internet. Seek meaningful activities. Find something that inspires and motivates you to step out of your comfort zone and practice gratitude. Appreciate the good things in your life, even the small ones. Remember, the journey to overcoming the escape from reality is an ongoing process. But with each step you take, you move closer to a more authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful life. When we eliminate these 12 things from our lives, we make space for true freedom, wisdom, and inner contentment. Imagine your mind as a garden, where every thought and emotion is a planted seed. By removing the weeds of negativity, fear of failure, unrealistic expectations, and thoughts of revenge, we allow the flowers of peace, compassion, and authenticity to flourish. Stoic teachings serve as a wise guide in our life's journey, reminding us that true wealth lies in simplicity, in accepting what we cannot change, and in the courage to live according to our deepest values. By embracing these principles, we find a path to a fuller and more meaningful existence. May these teachings guide us on our journey. May we learn from each challenge, grow through each experience, and share the love and wisdom we cultivate along the way. May we be living examples of Stoic values, inspiring others to find their own inner peace and lasting happiness. May each day be an opportunity to practice gratitude, compassion, and acceptance, creating a kinder and more compassionate world for all. And may, looking back, we see that the journey was worthwhile as we have become better versions of ourselves. I hope this video has been valuable to you. If you've made it this far, please leave a comment, as I would be delighted, and it would encourage me to produce more videos like this. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then,